Hi everyone. This video is about the big blue button and how we work within that. This is a kind of a bigger one because this is how we spend our 8 to 12 time. So we probably spend a little extra time on this one, but hopefully not take too much of your time here. So let's get right into it. This is the big blue button space that you'll normally go into. Your student will have a link to get in. That's the homeroom. That's also the classroom they get into. I don't have my audio on or my camera on because I'm doing this video, so you'll see a bunch of you can see that I have red X's on these down here, or red X's. They're X'd out. Those should typically be blue and ready to go. If not, you need to make sure you click on them, make them go, and typically up here they will ask you to make sure all these things are allowed as well. So anyway, I want to touch base on what this is and how to get through these meetings in the breakout rooms. So the purpose of this is our teachers are working with 3 grade levels at a time, typically 6, 7, 8. They'll start with them all together in one main room that will look like this, and then they'll create what are called breakout rooms. And here are the breakout rooms. For me, this is what the teacher sees, not the students. They'll see one is already in progress, and Dan Malant is there. I threw myself there. Your teacher will probably assign the student. And also there's a duration of how long it's lasting. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like for the student. This is a student view in here. You can see that it tells you how long the breakout room is remaining. There will be instructions on what to do. This is a shared space in between here that the teacher can write on. Here are the notes. The student can always grab these notes and keep them. They can copy it, and they control copy. So there's notes, they can keep them. They can also click here to export notes. And now can hit Microsoft Word, and they would export down to Microsoft Word. And you would see them pop up at the bottom, and you would see, here are the notes, right? So you get to keep those. So this room is going to end soon in 4 minutes, but that is where all the notes would be. Right. So here we could share all that information. So let's talk about the roles of each person in this. So we've broken them down into several roles that each student needs to kind of take a part in. Everyone has a shared responsibility in this, and so we share this with the students. It's called Success and Valor. It says every breakout station has instructions that are shared before the breakout. Typically, they are written in the shared notes, which is what I just shared with you. That the student should copy and paste them into their own Word document. That's what I would do. If I saw instructions, I grab them, copy them, paste them into my notes, so when I get into my breakout room, I know what to do. It's important. That's a good step. So there's 3 different stations you could be in. You could be in that main section called the teacher seminar. During this time, the student should have their eyes and ears on the teacher. This is going to be short, so they should really be involved with the teacher and listening to them. Take notes, and typically the teacher will tell you when to take notes and say, hey, this is important to make sure we get this down. The student should contribute to the conversation and stay on task. This is brief, and do not distract. And when you talk about do not distract, it means don't write in the chat. We've disabled private chat, so that's not going to happen back and forth. But yeah, just remember not to distract everybody and stay focused. Then you're going to get put into a breakout room possibly. Now the breakout room, this group, once you go in there, the group will have assigned roles. I think we allowed them to choose right off the bat, but sometimes the teacher will choose for them. And there's 3 different roles that we need to really focus on. Moderator, and this person is the one who starts off the meeting by saying, this is what we need to do, guys. Let's stay on focus and let's get this done. And that student will say things like, let's stay on task, by reminding them of the task. And they will also make sure that all the voices are heard. So if everyone hasn't spoken, we need to know who's missing. And I even gave them a prompt here. It says, hey, we haven't heard from this person. We need input from everybody. Please share. And then the student would use their name. There's a recorder. That person, and just like it sounds, this person keeps the information that's going to be shared. They usually put it in the middle in that shared note section so that everyone can have it. The reporter, so make sure the notes make sense. So we ask the reporter is someone who's good at taking notes typically, or wants to work on that skill, or just wants to do it. But make sure that your notes make sense, and be sure to export shared notes before you leave. If you don't save those shared notes, once you go back to the main room, they're gone. So make sure we save it. So the recorder would be good at doing that as well. But make sure they remind everyone to copy them down. And finally, it's the reporter. The reporter, it's the responsibility to understand what was happening in the group and share it back out with the main group. Be sure to ask clarifying questions. If you don't understand something, you have to write it down, so make sure you know what's being said. Whatever's in that main section, the shared notes, you're responsible for understanding that. Independent station. Now, this could be any one of these stations. This just means that teacher has said, all right, here's independent work. Go ahead and get to that. The importance of staying online, unless the teacher excuses you to go do it offline, is that you can ask questions right there in the moment. Okay? If it's an open-ended problem, ask the teacher. You can reach out to Google. Is it okay to Google this answer to help inform it? Is it okay to reach out to other students in that independent station? Typically, the answer is yes, because these are just resources you have, right? If you're given time to work on coursework, make sure you manage that and not just click around, and know the goal of the work. If you don't know what the purpose of it is, fair question for the teacher. Why are we doing this? What's this leading to? There's an answer to that question. All right? It might just be practice, or it's probably leading towards something bigger, and you're almost certainly going to have to produce something to make sure the teacher has data on how you did. Okay, so that's how the big blue button. This is big blue button. And let me pull this back up. And like I said, I'm back. They kicked me out and put me back in the main room. I have to accept all these things so that I can talk. You can see now that I am blue down here, except for my camera, which has to be on. A quick reminder to everyone that you must have your video on, and the chat must be appropriate at all times. And please keep in mind that everything is recorded in here. Okay? Anyway, this is our way of doing this. Ideally, we would have you on site, but we don't. So when we do, we will really enjoy it. But for now, this is how we get to interact with everybody. Okay, this is big blue button. And again, same as the homeroom, you should have a link. Everyone should have a link to their teachers. And we look forward to working with you in here. This is our time to interact. All right, thanks.